So the Jaguars to get the football first. McPherson kicks off. And this is Parker Washington from the end zone. And Washington dances to the 30s. First play from the 31, and Lawrence on a quick slant. Hunter's in motion. Lawrence off play action on second down, setting up. Third down, 3 to go. Lawrence with time, slings near side, it is caught. A lot of new toys, as you mentioned it, for Lawrence. First snap in plus territory. Zinging over the middle, there's Thomas. Jaguars only 3 opening drive touchdowns on the road since 2021, keeping it moving here with ETN. ETN lined up wide on 2nd and 7. Lawrence floats, Brenton strains there. Some back off, they rush 4. Lawrence examines, sidearm throw to Strain.
Forget about all these weapons at Trevor Lawrence.
ETN up the middle. Takes the snap. Lawrence, pocket, rifles, back of the end zone, Holden.
Sea of orange. They came on, they were loud. But if you don't get a pass rush, it's going to be a long day. Look at the pocket for Trevor Lawrence. Nobody at his feet. De'Ami Brown, the explosive playmaker they added to this, has been open all day long. The Bengals have not been tight enough in the pass.
From 9 yards away, his first touchdown as a Jaguar.
De'Ami Brown gets both the feet in, cross the T's, dot your I's, brother. That's 7 points for Jacksonville.
CBS.
Joe Burrow just a little bit better.
That was just 2 loaded rosters going at it. Fun title. Samaje Perine on this return for the Bengals gets lit up. Spread it out on a first down from the 26. Way that the team had to do last year. Burrow in the pocket. That ball slapped away. Right now, rule deflected. Just see.
Yeah, you know what, Chris? Really tight play, but if you watch Joe Burrow, all you need to have is really like a camera frame, right? And the arm moves.
What they could do to make Burrow uncomfortable. Here's a 3rd and 9, again uncomfortable. Sidesteps away, but can't escape, and brought down in the...
Try this for a clean line.
Nice.
Sometimes help is delivered.
Bashal Tootin in it, running back on first down, gets the carry. And Tootin shows off the footwork across the 30-yard line. 3 wide with Brenton Strange in at tight end. Lawrence quick toss. Brown, who caught the touchdown. On first, play action fake. Lawrence on the screen to Tootin. Tootin, who has that speed that Logan just mentioned, across the 40. Strange to the top of the screen. Once again, Tootin carrying. Jags back at the 30. Lawrence again with time. Contested ball at the 10. Side to 10. First and goal. Lawrence looking near side. Throws that way. Another contested ball, and he's had plenty of time. ETN carrying. Stood up near the...
You see him lined up right here.
Lawrence on 3rd. There's that pressure from Hendrickson. Gets rid of it and intercepted.
I was just talking about him. We called his name and he delivered. Trey Hendrickson wins right away off the edge. Gives a layup, alley-oop to his teammate for the pick.
CBS about how to be a pro.
That was Ohio connections. First down, Joe Burrow after the INT.
By Chase. He's so good at this. This is what he does, but he double catches the ball, not able to get his feet in bounds.
So after the incompletion, 2nd down and 10. Chase Brown around the edge. Uses the stiff arm. It's a monster. The second half of last season, one of the most productive backs in the league. 4 in this pattern, and Chase on the board. Any CBS team, so we better look out for Jarian Jones.
What are you saying about my eyebrows?
I mean, I just know mine. 3 in this pattern as Burrow slings. It's complete with a flag down.
Illegal contact, number 2, defense. Penalties decline.
From the 31. Burrow is slipped out of his hands and ruled incomplete.
Miscommunication. Burrow's ready to throw the ball. His back puts in the ground. The receiver doesn't run the right route.
So Pro Bowler, who last year led the NFL in yards and passing touchdowns, Burrow, right in traffic.
Let's look here.
Empty it out for Burrow. Looks near side, scrambles, and throws. Jamar Chase. From the 15. Burrow has an open Chase, cuts up the field. Drew Sample, the motion tight end. Brown up the middle. In week 1 against Cleveland. Burrow. Wheels, turns, looks, fires, incomplete.
Joe Burrow sees the pressure, top of his screen.
From the 4, slant, Chase, cha-ching!
Reach and catch here. Joe Burrow saw the pressure, and this is hard as a corner. A slant or a fade. There's the 2 routes, Chris. You got to take the slant away first. You can't give up your instinct.
Late first quarter, McPherson's kick. This is Bashal Tootin, the speedy running back, upended at the 25. Hunter, who was in on that last play on defense, in motion and makes his first catch. Screen through the middle, and we thought we'd get points. So far has lived up to the billing here in Cincy at the end of 1.
Live.
Trying to communicate through this loud crowd. Second down, Hunter. Second straight reception. Plays without the wristband. And that's been an adjustment. De'Ami Brown. That's the play they used on 4th down. Just look at the wristband, play number 5. Second down. A plunge. Play action from midfield. Lawrence to the flat, a bobble and a catch. Hunter sideline. Second down and 1. With Munt in motion, they run that way with Etienne. Had a monster week 1, and Etienne still going. The red zone stop. Tootin. Second down and 7. Check down. What a move by Tootin. Oh, my!
Tootin. And now I know why. Trevor Lawrence just swings it to his back there, and he hit that stanky leg. And that explosion to the end zone.
And accelerated for that score. Little kicks off, and Pirine takes this from the end zone. Dances past the 25. Chase, their first touchdown connection of 2025 on their last drive. Looks far side, retreats back near side.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 12, defense.
It's not a luxury, it's a have to.
Picked up the penalty on the last play. Brown, push pass. From the 42. Burrow with time, jumps and throws, high pointed by the sideline at number 20. This is a 3rd and 7. Burrow, time, throws, strong hand of 8.
It doesn't get tougher than this. Great coverage by Tyson Campbell. Nothing you can do. Great ball, great receiver, beats the great coverage all day long. Look at that. You're raking.
From midfield. Burrow, screen blown up, and then a
Holding, number 89, offense.
Drew Sample right here. They get him for the hold. You see his right hand. You got to let that go.
first down, 20 to go. Josh Hines Allen with the pressure. On second, again pressure on Burrow. Dances around, but brought down. Games of 2023, including one of those against the Jaguars. On 3rd and long, hands to Brown, who best defensive possession of the game for the Jaguars as Rico does get this punt off. Parker Washington returns from the 10, doesn't go far. Bring the energy on the other side defensively. That's exactly what Cincy's trying to do here on this possession.
Illegal shift, offense. The penalty is declined. It's second down.
2nd and 10 for the 13. Etienne up the middle. Linebackers close to the line of scrimmage. De'Ami Brown in motion. 3rd and 6. Flag out at the start of the play. Tipped and intercepted.
Illegal shift, offense. The penalty is declined. Result of play, interception, first down, Cincinnati.
Right there for the Bengals.
He had a crucial one last week, but I'll tell you what, Brian Thomas made a business decision to not go across that middle there. He shut it down. Look how he shuts it down, sticks his arm out, and tips and overthrows. Got to get those. Good sign, he's going to get an X-ray.
So Jake Browning, pop pass, Chase. Speeds to the outside, tries to turn. As he continues to get examined, 2nd and 3. Jordan Battle interception, 3rd and 2. Brown again, stood up at the 20. Browning keeps it, rolls right. He has an open Noah Fant. The crowd started to yell, but he didn't see being examined.
One-on-one down bottom here.
That's T. Higgins. Browning looks that way, runs out of time. 18. And they protect Browning enough. Quick slant, that's Chase in stride. Chase hit hard. He made one from 35 last week. This one from 31 right through. After the field goal, Washington, that ball lands in the end zone. They picked him off. Trying to end his time with the Patriots. Flag out, started the play. High throw to Brent. These were a theme in week 1 for Jacksonville. They had 11 of them. ETN. LaQuint Allen Jr. in at running back, the rookie from Syracuse. With the pass protection to set up this crossing route. Parker Washington, big play, and makes one miss by the sideline.
Throw.
And for a rookie to be brought in for pass protection situations, that's rare. Lawrence looking, deflected, and intercepted off the ricochet.
Geno Stone, the communicator, the smart guy in the back, tips and overthrows. I talked about that, but we got to take another look. Geno Stone can't fake it there. There's too many cameras in the building. It caught him. Ball hit the ground.
They found our recipe for calling this game. Rolling to the right, Trevor Lawrence. Throw with ETN in the slot. Hendrickson pressure, steps around it. Again a flag in. Lawrence's wheels. He throws way past the line of scrimmage.
There were 2 fouls, illegal shift offense. That penalty is declined. Illegal forward pass, number 16 offense. The quarterback was completely beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw the pass. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss is down. It's 4th down. Cincinnati will be given the option regarding a 10-second runoff. Since the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage, there is no foul for defensive pass interference.
So, from 42.
But not operation penalties, pre-snap penalties.
Cam Little. P. Ryan. From the landing zone, P. Ryan, long strides.
That first 10 yards, then you get on the ball and start rolling.
Screen, Chase. Blockers in front. Chase! They're chasing! Bumped out. Browning. Looking far side. Higgins back shoulder. And incomplete. Another screen. Chase, you brought it up. Grew up playing running back. That 53 yards from here. Browning pressured in his face, and he throws an interception. On the backside, Eric Murray. Opportunity for 3. Jacksonville takes over.
Jacksonville sitting in a soft zone, and the receiver there just stops.
Not hiding anything, spreading it out. Lawrence D drop back, slides through one. Eyes down the field, launches. Thomas there, deflected away, but nearly caught off the bounce.
Brian Thomas prevents the INT. Travis Hunter, always around the ball, doesn't catch that one.
Cam Little, you brought it up, that 70-yard field goal he made in the preseason. Don't have to get too much farther. Brown jukes the Ami Browns. End of the first half, 17-10, Jacksonville. Halftime is next. After these first half highlights from Verizon. And a word from your local station. We're the key factor for Jacksonville. They moved the ball as well as they've had in a long time in the first half. Samaje Perine bobbles that one.
Have kind of cost us some points on the board. When you look at it, we've been moving the ball up and down the field, but we've got to limit the penalties. And
Hands it off again. What a spin. Brown holds on to the ball on first. Browning unleashes right on target. Starter in the back half of 2023, 2 seasons ago. Brown over 100 receiving yards in this game. 2nd and 7. Browning to chase again. That's catch number 10 on 11 targets. It's almost like a weekday meeting, getting that done all at half. Chase, stiff arm, stays in and tiptoes. Logan Ryan at Rutgers, they go way back. Browning, handball, one hand. Are you serious?
Mitchell Tinsley, you want to double Jamar Chase? Fine, I got something for you. The one hand, the 1 foot.
But where's the second?
And the shin. The shin counts as 2.
There you go.
The shin counts as 2. Imagine.
To tie it at 17. McPherson kicks off. This is Parker Washington. Stops his tracks and is belted back from the 19. Etienne runs in. With Etienne in motion, have both backs in. Bashal 2. Brenton Strange back near the line of scrimmage. 3rd down. They go to the air. Lawrence hit as he throws. Incomplete. It's Charlie Jones standing at the 25 to return for the Bengals. Good one, booming. It brings Jones back to the 12. Plenty of room. Jones, 20. Getting this drive from the 23. Browning, open player over the middle is Andre. Crazy Bills comeback. On first, Brown wrapped up and
layups in the back end.
2nd down, 10 to go. Browning throws far sideline. That's pressure. Browning, 5 in the pattern. Rolls to the right, off the back foot. Throw is intercepted. Across the body throw. Andrew Wingard all over it. And the former Wyoming Cowboy.
Pressure, the tight coverage led to the mistake. Browning has nothing early. He throws it late into a party to the offense.
From the 30, it's Tootin. Escapes a tackle from Stewart. First half with a dazzling juke move. And this wristband for Trevor Lawrence to call these plays this season. Parker Washington with blockers in front, including Anton Harrison. On 3rd and 4. Well, Quint Allen, right? Etienne on the end around, spins. Etienne in motion, they throw it that direction with Brown leading the way, blocking. Etienne turns up the field.
Up and down the field. Simple screenplay to Etienne. A numbers game for Trevor Lawrence, and he is too good with the ball in his hands. Etienne had a big week last week, and it looked like another one this week.
Set up for an explosive season. And it's been back and forth fun, big plays on each side. Samaje Perine from the 5. Accelerates, hit hard, stays on his feet somehow. Houdini.
After the play was over, a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 56 in the defense.
2nd quarter. Since then, it's been Jake Browning at quarterback for the Bengals, and he hands
the touchdown drive, then the interception. How did you respond?
Handoff. Everybody near the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, Browning to the air. Higgins bumps, doesn't matter. Touchdown, Bengals.
Ball up to T. Higgins, wins at the line right away. Stacks his receiver inside. You're not big enough. Get off me. Let me look back at him.
And a fun one in Cincinnati. Higgins, bumped by a couple. Yeah, he's too strong. This game, too good. And a ball in a perfect place. Credit to the quarterback. Washington from the goal line. Runs across sides of the field and hits a wall. Stays on. Tootin. Boy, does he run hard last couple of weeks. 2 last week on tip passes in crunch time. Bobble on the snap. Lawrence picks it up, sneaks it. On first, Strange in the flat. The rookie night all over him. Second down, laser from Lawrence. Over the middle, Washington, who you highlight. Tied at 24 at the end of 3. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Thrilling game so far as we start the 4th. Lawrence hands. Play action, Lawrence. Couple receivers running deep, including Thomas. Justice on the 36, Washington across the formation. Penalty marker in, might have been grabbed by the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, number 58 of the defense.
Unfortunate because Osai snipped it out, but it's just bad timing. He reaches, he does.
From the 19, screen, ETN carves through. Just likes the different elements of Liam Cohen's system. ETN again, off tackle, turns the corner.
They kind of stumbled.
Brown in motion, play action Lawrence. Roll out right, sets and fires, backside, out of bounds. Down.
DJ Turner doing a beautiful job here. If they can't get their feet in, it's not a catch. You're taught just to push the receiver.
Second and goal. Lawrence with time. Brown drops it.
De'Ami Brown wants this one back right through his hands. As a professional wide receiver, you have to make that catch 100 out of 100 times.
Third and goal. Fire tipped and nearly intercepted. Collision and 4th down.
Trevor knew it, I knew it, find number 7, but so did Jordan Battle, and his Cincy defense was ready. And we got
25. 27-24.
face paint
the
now.
stick on through the stickiness, the warm weather.
Wow.
A couple Jersey guys in the booth, by the way. South Jersey represent. This one returned by P. Ryan past the 30. Need more than that. Brown. Hey. 3 wide set. Brown in the pattern. Browning wants Chase. Just a stride in front.
Out. Browning's got to read it correctly.
Aluakin comes on the blitz right quickly, but deflected away. Great coverage by Campbell.
Campbell comes with a quick jam, and the pressure was beautiful. It happens all the time both ways. You never know with these refs.
Rico gets it off. Washington lets that fly over his head, and it's down. ETN zigzags in the backfield. ETN, the motion man, one-on-one on the outside, but incomplete.
Screen.
Lawrence looks the other way, throws that direction, right in stride, and a first time it's Washington in the game. Bottom of the screen, joining Brown on 1st and 10. ETN gets the carry, and Cam Taylor. 2nd and 9, quick toss, and Strain. Looking that way on a slant, but it is tough. After another 3rd down picked up, here's Bashal Tootin. Has had a chance for a touchdown on the ensuing drive to go in front. Tootin.
Trevor Lawrence.
To the air. Lawrence with a pocket. Thomas can't grab it.
Great punter, a true weapon.
To the near side, not a deep one, and fair catch called outside, starting from your own 12. Browning, Chase to the 20. Keeps it moving.
Last drive here for them to pull this game off.
Fake the pitch, over the middle, and out of the... Browning over the middle, intercepted! Devin Lloyd! The linebacker for the Jaguars makes the huge play. Did he go down?
Away. And that's an athletic catch. That's not easy. I've seen receivers drop that pass today. That's an athletic catch by Devin Lloyd and this defense to turn the Bengals over. Jacksonville.
A chance for an exclamation point. Etienne wants the outside. Does he have the speed? Not this time.
For the Bengals.
Lawrence targets, incomplete. As loud as the crowd has been on third. Allen tunnels through, and he's still...
He's surprised they snapped the ball here, honestly.
Ultra aggressive. They do snap it. Does it pay off for Cohen? It's dropped! Oh, it was in the hands of Thomas.
By that sequence, Brian Thomas running across the field. He's open. This is simple throw and catch right in the chest where Liam Cohen told Lawrence to throw it, and the receiver doesn't finish the play for him. You got to have those, but the players didn't execute it. Now you got to live with the result.
Browning floats. In the shotgun. Browning to the sideline. Campbell knocks it away.
Downfield routes from the Bengals receivers.
They go to the air, 3 in the pattern. Browning checks it down. And that'll be shy of the sticks. They do snap it. Browning to Brown. There's the first down. A third-year man from Washington. Spent a lot of time on the Vikings and Bengals practice squad. Browning again, shoots it to the tight end. Empty set. Fan again. Made that Gesicki. Browning pressure, escapes near side. Sidearm flings deflected away. On 4th and 5 with the star receivers on the far side, he goes near side. Josevich, penalty marker in.
Pass interference, number 12 defense. The ball will be placed on the foul. Automatic first down.
That's the matchup, Logan, they wanted.
That's the matchup they wanted.
4 wide spread out. Browning tosses over the middle. On second, Browning pressure, gets rid of it on the comeback chase. First down Bengals. In field goal range, can they get more from the 21? Browning examines another completion right across.
It's a game here in the second half.
The former Washington Husky looks left, throws left, Chase reaches inside the 5. On second, Brown burrows through, keeps moving the pile. He might have the first down. First and goal. Sneak, Browning, penalty flag in.
Offside, number 66 offense, lining up in the neutral zone.
Lined up too far. First and goal. Brown.
DeMar Chase, bottom of the screen.
Browning to the air, tightly contested slants. It's caught. Gesicki still ruled short where they were before the offside.
Timeout. Cincinnati, 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 19 seconds. 19 seconds.
Brown in the backfield, 3rd and goal. A sneak again over the top. Touchdown, Bengals. They have the lead with 18 seconds left.
We said the sneak didn't work. You need someone to push him. And look at Drew Sample behind, launches.
But for perspective, that was Marvin Lewis's final year as the coach of Cincinnati. McPherson sends that one through the end zone.
The Jags got to throw it out of bounds here. I'll do the old hook and ladder.
Hendrickson from the backside. And without any timeouts left, that could do it. 8 seconds. They gave that man a raise for a reason.
He earned that raise.
That does it. Well, they do get it off.
Here we go. This play's still alive.
With a penalty marker in, Washington zigzags. Blockers in front, flips back. Etienne has some space. Harrison lays down a block. He flips it, deflected. And Jake Browning leads the comeback. It's Cincinnati's home opener. A wild one at the Jungle. And began with Sam Hubbard as the ruler of the jungle. Fellow end on that line makes the game-sealing play. What a fun one. Cincy gets the win. Coming up next, the State Farm postgame show. For Logan Ryan, Tiffany Blackman, Gene Steratore. My name is Chris Lewis. So long from Cincinnati. We'll take you back to New York for all the scores and highlights right after this.